podcast day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing the podcast from the toilet?
No. That's why I said definitely not pooping.
Ah, I see. All right.
Although that is an idea. I mean, I do it from my bed all the time. Why not try to do it from within the bathroom? The acoustics aren't very good inside the bathroom, though.
Well, that's the only thing, yeah. The acoustics are not good
Now,
in bathrooms.
if ever I get a place, I will probably have a room where I'll put a toilet and I'll make the walls have good acoustics. And then we can do the podcast from there.
You'll probably have a room, eh? You've already decided you're
I
just going
don't
to have
know.
a
It's a
room
good idea.
with a toilet in the middle of it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big room. That's the thing. In Europe, they have these places. They have these small rooms just for toilets. Like my sister, the one that lives in Belgium, she has a toilet like that in one part of the house. It's literally just a toilet, not even a sink. It's disgusting. Not even a sink, but it's just a toilet there. And I imagine that's what I would do. I would just, it's like a booth. It's like a recording booth, but with a toilet.
Well, I think that's why washrooms are called what they are, right? Because they didn't originally have toilets in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's like when they had toilets in the kitchen.
Yeah, there you go. You know what you should do? You know what you should do is, if you're going to do this, you need to, make a lazy boy recliner toilet.
The thing is, I'm not actually a fan of getting shit everywhere.
Well,
And as much as I joke about it,
I don't know. The key is to not do that, I think.
it's just so easy because you know how it is. Like you flush a toilet, all that goes everywhere. I think they did studies on this where it's like your toothbrush has stuff on it and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, it's like, well, whatever. I don't care. I'm breathing in everybody's garbage anyway. So what's the difference? But you know, if you focus on it, it's a bit disgusting. Like if you have a lazy boy and all that fabric, you know, gradually builds up over time. You know, you start, it's pristine, and then by the end you put one of those black lights on it, and it's just covered.
Don't put a black light on it. I don't know.
Do black lights detect poop?
I don't know. Bodily fluids. I don't know if poop.
Yeah, I mean that should count, right? It's a fluid. It's a very slow moving fluid most of the
I
time.
think it is, but maybe.
I wonder how far you have to go for it to be a fluid. Like, what does it mean to be a fluid versus a solid?
Yeah, but it's not like the black light is like, oh no, this doesn't fit the definition. I'm not going to show it to you.
And it folds its arms, crosses them.
Yeah.
That would be a Disney movie, eh? If one of those Disney movies where inanimate objects come to life, and you have basically it's a police. It's one of those detective dramas, but it's a police movie, and all those inanimate objects come to life. Like the black lights would be like, I'm crossing my arms. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm sick of seeing this shit everywhere. That type of thing.
There you go.
I think Disney could pull it off. They're very good about these things these days.
Absolutely, they are.
Did you see my video? Because I'm thirsty. Did you see my video?
That's kind of how I was going to start, actually, until I saw your stupid...
Yeah, well, I'm thirsty. I haven't tried it yet.
No, you never do that. We already talked about this. You never assemble the 7 infinity drinks. You don't do it.
Wait, it's not 7. It's 6, isn't it?
Whatever.
I don't know how many infinity stones there are, so whatever. Anyway, and I'll link to the video. I mean, it's on our YouTube channel, the podcast YouTube channel. I mixed together 6 Red Bulls of various colors into one super drink. And I'm going to taste test it right now.
That's gross.
For what it's worth,
Why?
It looks
Hold
like...
on. Why did you do that? Because there's no possible way you're going to go through that entire drink before it gets stale.
I mean, that bottle is one that had an energy drink previously. And I drank it over the course, I think, of 3 days.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3 days. Actually, well, no, it will be probably 2 days. I always go overboard on the podcast evenings.
Aye. All right.
So first of all, it looks very similar to the zero sugar one that I poured in last, which is the acai. That's that fruit that's, really fancy fruit. Kind of looks like a blueberry, but tastes a bit different. It looks like that. It smells the same as that. I'm assuming it's going to taste the same.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not going to taste like much.
Oh, this is interesting.
You didn't say what flavors you put in there.
Oh, I didn't say what flavors? Oh, yeah, okay. So there was red.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite flavor, red. Yeah.
No, red I think is watermelon.
Okay.
And then the orange one is apricot.
Is this Red Bull or Monsters?
No, this is Red Bull. Monster, I'd probably be dead if I did this with Monster because they don't have the small cans.
Oh, you could have half mixed or made two.
Yeah, I could have made 2, but I don't have 2 bottles. Then I have to buy another one of those. Although I might next time. You know what? That's a good idea. Monster deserves its time in the sun. They have plenty of colors too, so I think they do deserve it. But anyway, so the orange is apricot. I think that's one of my favorites. I think that's probably my favorite of all of them.
So Red Bull doesn't have the fancy names, pretty much, other than red, I guess. They're just like...
So they have red, and then apricot, I think, is just called apricot. And then yellow is yellow edition, I think. But that one is just tropical. That's the flavor, tropical, whatever that means.
Okay.
Then green is banana, somehow.
Okay.
And it does taste like banana. And then what was the one after green? Was it the purple one? I think it's the purple one. Anyway, the purple one is the zero sugar one, the acai, which is a nice fancy fruit, a berry, I guess. And then the last one is the winter edition, perfect for the summer, but they're still selling the winter edition because nobody likes it, is cinnamon apple or cinnamon pear. Actually, cinnamon pear.
That doesn't sound very good for
Yeah, it's my least favorite, but it's okay. It's one of those you snuggle up near a fireplace while you're consuming your energy drinks.
Right.
So I mixed all those together, and yeah, the taste is interesting because unlike other things where once you've mixed them, they stay mixed, this one, it goes back and forth between all of the different flavors. One is trying to get in, the other one's trying to get in, then it pushes this one up, the next one gets in. So you're getting all the different flavors, all trying to fight for your attention.
That's gross.
I'm not disappointed. I thought it was going to look brown at the end.
So what does it actually look like?
It looks like the last one that I poured, which is was it the last one? I guess no. I did pour the winter one before the last one. The last one was the zero sugar one. It looks like that one. It's like dark red, blood red. There you go. Blood red is a good indicator.
Yeah, I thought it would just look brown too, but I don't know what they all look like.
No, the individual ones are quite light. That's why I think it takes on the color of the red one at the beginning and also the purple one at the end. Yeah. It's a bit of a shame because, I kind of wanted it to be more interesting. But I figured, okay, as soon as I poured the red, I was like, this is probably going to overtake all the other colors.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Well, I can't give it a 10 because I do prefer the individuals, but it's better than, let's say, the winter edition. I would give it, let's say, a 7.
7.
7,
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep. All right. That's a respectable score. So there you go, guys. If you ever want to do the Infinity Red Bull Challenge, you don't have to now. You can save your money and your heart tissue.
Heart tissue? Oh, jeez. What's this about heart tissue?
What do you mean?
It has no tissue.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean. Heart. It's got to have, right? It's got to have tissue or something in there.
There's no Kleenex in there, man.
Like if a heart degrades, what... You can save heart structure. I don't know.
It's probably tissue. You're probably right.
But,
did you sniff your dish mat?
You're not even... I did.
Okay, well, tell us. I'm curious.
There's nothing there. There's no smell. I even, have some glasses on there. I even had some glasses on there. I picked up a glass, and I smelled it, and there was no smell.
This glass didn't smell. Oh, man, that's impressive, because mine do.
There was no smell. I don't know what... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Wow, you must be...
I must be crazy. I've thought about this several times in the last 2 weeks. I'm like, Raj, you must have a fucking super nose because I cannot smell these smells that he says he's smelling. and
yet I'm drinking a mixture of all the Red Bulls and not batting an eye.
Maybe it's turned you... Maybe all the energy drinks have turned you into some sort of a superhuman. And your power is you can smell dirty dishwater. Something like that.
But that's good, though, that your glasses don't smell because that is one of the symptoms. Thankfully, of course, I've been using my nice dish rack. But when I had those glasses on a smelly dish mat,
yeah,
and then I pick up one of them, despite everything being dry, I smell it a little bit. Yeah, it has that same scent.
Is your stuff... Okay, let me ask, though. Is your stuff plastic or is it glass?
No, my glasses are glass.
Okay. I was going to say maybe that's one difference. I don't use any plastic stuff.
No, it's nice, proper stuff,
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't smell it. I tried at several stages throughout the drying cycle.
How much
Just
did you like inhale? Did you just a little bit? Did you do the scientific way of like what is it, wafting? Or did you actually put your nose up to it and like you were snorting
I
cocaine?
put my nose in the glass, but not the snort thing, because it's not effective to smell things.
That's true. Okay. Well, you know what I mean though. Like enough that your mucus is going back inside your nose. That type of thing.
No. I gave it a good smell. That's what I did, as well as my dish mat. I didn't smell anything. I don't know what you want me to say. That was
All right, fine. Moving on.
maybe it's the Portuguese air or something like that.
It could be, actually. Well, that's the thing, right? There's a big mold problem in many buildings because it's very humid. Like many buildings, no matter if it's new
I mean,
or
that
whatever.
could be a thing, though. Yeah.
It's definitely an issue here. And also the fact that there's never like a proper freeze so that nothing really dies during the winter. That's another
Okay.
issue. It's weird that they don't have the problem of insects because like Australia, why do so many things grow so big? It's because Australia doesn't have the same, it has a very different climate. There's no freezing to kill those things. But yeah, Portugal also doesn't have that, but its insects are normal sized.
Well, just give it time.
Eventually they'll grow. But I'm gonna talk about another thing that I didn't get a chance to last time. It's related to my dish rack. So in addition to the dish rack, I also wanted to stop voluntarily ingesting microplastics. Remember how I talked about like, oh, let's cover the world in microplastics. I love microplastics.
Okay.
I feel like
Okay.
microplastics are probably not very good for me, so I decided to not eat them anymore. And this was voluntary only because I was too lazy to buy a proper spatula. So whenever I make my omelets, I would always use these cheap plastic spatulas. And it pissed me off because anytime I would use it, no matter how short the duration of it being kept on the frying pan is, it would eventually like start decaying on the edge.
What kind of plastic spatulas are you using? What the hell?
Just
I use
horrible
plastic
ones.
Spatula.
Horrible ones, apparently. But you put it on there just a little bit, and it gradually starts to degrade. And so after even a couple of weeks of using a new one, I would have like little strings of plastic flaking off into my omelets. And, I just put up with it. I was like, well, whatever, I'm sick of cleaning this stuff. So I'm going to start letting them flake off into my omelet.
Nice, Raji.
Long term, it's probably not a good idea. So I decided, no, whenever I have a chance, I'm going to get myself a silicone spatula. Which, like I've used silicone before for cooking and baking and stuff, and it works really well. That's what the pros use. And so I decided to get one, and now I have one, and it's a world of difference. I feel healthier, aside from the Red Bull, of course, all because of the reduced microplastics in my system. It's a cautionary tale to people. If you have a cheap plastic spatula, either get a wooden one or a silicone one, or use your hands, but don't flake off the microplastics into your food and eat
I
them.
don't know what kind that's stupid.
Flaking them off or stopping to flake them off?
Flaking them off. I don't know what you're using, though. Like, I said mine's plastic. I don't know what mine actually is.
Well, it's probably not metal, right? That's the thing. You're
not
probably
metal.
not using...
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not.
so it's... Unless it's like... You would know if it was wood, so I assume it's plastic,
But it doesn't.
right?
Yeah, it's not wood. It's like rubbery.
Oh, so it is... you probably have a silicone one then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not fancy or anything. Like if you... they sell them at the regular stores. It's just that my supermarket, where I would normally buy these things, it doesn't sell them, so I had to order it.
And the other sign is mine doesn't flake off into my food.
Yeah, well, silicone wouldn't do that. No, silicone wouldn't do that.
Oh, that's funny.
Not unless you start chopping it up, and then it's a gourmet flaking off. But it works well. I like it, and I think... Because also nothing gets stuck to it. Silicone is always like... It's pretty good about that.
Yeah.
That's why it's really good for if you're baking something, you put it on a silicone mat. Acts like a parchment paper.
Oh, I just use parchment paper.
But, well, fair enough. But just to say that if you wanted to... let's say you were a pro baker, you would probably have a sheet of silicone because then you wouldn't be going through parchment paper so quickly.
Well, okay. I guess if you bake a lot, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, let's say you're making cookies every 5 minutes.
I'll tell you the best thing to do when you bake, to avoid having when you cook, in the oven. I don't know if it works on the grill top, but in the oven is always cover your pans, and then you don't have to clean them as much. If you're baking, put them on parchment paper. If you're not baking, just put it on aluminum foil.
You're saying that if whatever you're cooking, you line your frying pan with foil?
No, I'm not saying frying pan. I'm saying whatever you put in the oven.
Oh, oven.
Like,
yeah.
I'm saying a baking.
You mean you
sheet or
don't take
whatever.
let's say you don't take your pizza out and you put it straight on the rack with nothing underneath?
That's so weird. All the instructions on the pizzas, they always say put it right on the rack.
They
I'm like, I'm not putting
do.
it on the fucking rack. You got to be crazy. No, what I have though, and I guess it's because the grooves of the rack to make it go up and whatever. What I have though is my pizza pan, which I don't put the aluminum foil on. I don't do it for pizza. Is I got like, it's a rounded pan, right? Specifically for pizza, and it's got the grooves on it anyways.
It's a groovy pizza pan.
I figured it was something like it can't be flat. It can't be on a flat thing because then I guess, I don't know, the moisture doesn't escape or whatever, and then you get soggy crust.
They also sell those pizza pans with holes, so the holy ones, the holy pizza
But that's
pans.
the same you may as well just put it on the thing and let the stupid whatever drip into the bottom of the oven.
But they're small holes.
It's wild it doesn't matter. Holes are holes.
Are they?
Things get through them. Which means that you're going to dirty up your oven to cook a friggin' pizza. That's not even worth it.
But you're right about the grooves because there would be a lot more moisture underneath, so it wouldn't cook properly.
So my pizza pan has the grooves on it, but no holes. So at least the heat can get under.
You know what you could do? You could put the pizza straight on the grill and then put the pan one layer underneath. Because then if, you got garbage dripping, it would still go on to, yeah.
Still got to clean the rack then.
Nah, you just turn up the oven and just let it clean itself at that point.
Burn it off.
I mean, that's what the cleaning cycles are. It's literally just the oven cranking itself into overdrive and burning everything inside, which is, I find it's interesting. I find that that's the way that they decided is the right approach. Burn everything.
That makes,
burn everything to a crisp. That's like a dryer cleaning, like a clothing dryer cleaning itself by turning up the heat until anything inside it burns.
Why not? Just do that.
You want to get rid of your documents? Don't throw them into the fire. Put them in our dryer instead.
Put them in the dryer and then crank it to super duper high. Overclock the dryer. That's going to be the next thing. With all these smart appliances, everything's a computer, right?
You're going to start overclocking.
You're going to start seeing people overclocking their appliances. A souped up fridge. I don't know what purpose that would ever have.
Cooling. The freezer gets down to absolute zero. Can you imagine? Oh, man.
There you go.
I guarantee you that's going to be a thing eventually. People will try to overclock their fridges, their freezers, so that they get down to absolute zero. Or, as close as you can get.
Why not? Get down to absolute zero.
Oh, that would be fascinating.
Then every time you open it, it'll be a safety hazard.
Oh, you'd be dead.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you, though, a few weeks ago, I was cooking chicken things. And I had to crank my oven to... Like, usually when I cook, like, all the instructions and everything is like, 375, 425 at the most. So I was cooking these chicken things, and I had to crank the oven to, like, 525 or something like that. Like, super high.
Wow, it goes that hot?
Yeah, it was something really high.
What was the max on the oven? That's pretty impressive. That's good.
I feel like max has to be higher than... I don't know what my max is. I've never tried it.
Oh, you got to do it now.
It's at least 525, I'll say that. But, man, I will tell you, I thought I friggin' burned my eyebrows off when I opened that sucker to pull them out. Because usually, like, I don't even think about it. Like, at 375 or 425, you could open it, put your, you get a little burst of air, of hot air, and it's like, okay, whatever. At 525, that shit hurts.
Now, just imagine you're Mario, and you enter the lava level.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, there you go.
That's the thing with games and lava levels. They never appreciate the fact that, this is going to be hot even before I get close to the lava.
Well, Mario's built for that.
He's Italian?
He's Italian. They live up near volcanoes, so they're good.
I don't think they do.
I think there's a volcano in Italy.
I doubt it's active.
Maybe, you never know.
No, I would say because Mario's from Brooklyn, right?
That's right, he's from Brooklyn.
You got to be tough there. That's all that matters.
Well, he's a plumber. He works in the sewers. You get all those hot pipes. There's a lot of hot pipes down there.
Steamy.
Yeah. But yeah, that hurt. I opened it, went in. I was like, I just did something bad to my face. It hurts so much.
It's like getting slapped by the oven.
It hurts so much, and then your eyes too, and it's like, oh god, I don't know what to just do something to my eyes. Oh,
Just imagine it's like in a cartoon. You open it up and your face is suddenly charred.
I didn't even think of it. The worst part was I was like, afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But at the time, I didn't even think of it. I didn't even think of like opening it and like friggin' running because it was going to attack me. Like I said, at 375 or 425, it's like nothing. It's just like a little burst of air and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not that hot. If 100 degrees more, it's brutal.
But it is interesting how 100 degrees makes such a difference.
Yeah.
I guess, I guess that is a lot, but it's just relatively speaking, going from 400 something to 500 something doesn't seem like as much.
Yeah.
But that's the same as like going from 0 to 100, which is obviously a lot.
Yeah, freezing to
boiling water, so. Yeah. But you survived. Okay.
I lived.
Did the chicken things
I still have my eyebrows. Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. If I saw them again in the store, I'd buy them. They were like chicken bacon medallion things. What do they call them? They call them something weird. They called them like...
You called them... What did you say? Chicken something?
Chicken bacon medallion things.
So they have bacon in them as well?
They were like bacon wrapped and...
Oh, okay. Fair enough. But are they breaded or no?
No.
Okay.
They were called like tornadoes or something like that, but it was spelled weird.
Chicken tornadoes with a CH?
Chicken tornadoes with a CH?
Chicken
Where's
tornadoes.
the CH going?
Chicken tornadoes.
Oh, tornadoes. Oh, okay.
They're Mexican.
The CH is silent. Chicken tornadoes, but the CH is silent.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's TCH or NATO.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so,
that's good.
It's because I've been trying different grocery stores because I stopped going to Loblaw stores.
Did you try any local vendors?
No, I don't really want to. I should, but you're not going to find everything at a local vendor. That's the problem. Like, you go local, you're going to have to go like 5 different stores to get everything you want. So I'm still sticking with the grocery stores, just not Loblaws. So I always see what they got. I always see what their little food stuffs are. I get the kebabs sometimes, and I saw those things once. I haven't seen them again, but I saw them once. I can make my own, I suppose, but I'm too lazy to do that. That too closely approaches real cooking.
You want to stay on the boundary there. You never want to tip over into the dark side.
Give me something that's fancy-ish, but that I can just take out of a box or a package and put it in the oven.
See what you got to do. This is the thing to do. If you were an influencer on Instagram or something, you would buy these fancy meals that are frozen that look cool when you've actually when you cooked it, and you snap a photo or a video or something after it's done, and you say, "Hey, look at what I made," and nobody will know. People will think like, "Man, this guy's really good at cooking."
Well, that's what they do with the HelloFresh. It's like, look what because I see that every once in a while. They'll like I'll see like a streamer do like a cooking stream or something like that. And they're like, oh, we're doing HelloFresh. I guess there is some cooking in the HelloFresh things, which are the meal kits, right? Like they give you
those are just cooking.
Meal a day for a week or whatever. Yeah.
They give you the ingredients. That's the hardest part is separating the ingredients into the amounts and compartments.
I don't think you have to do that. Don't they give you like exactly what you need?
No, sorry, that's what I mean. Like one of the hardest things about
in general,
shopping
cooking.
for ingredients is buying all the ingredients and then having a lot of leftover, having to separate them out into what you need, partition them, and so all these food services, they offer that. They take away the math part of cooking. They leave the creativity and hands-on stuff. Well, not the creativity, but
there's no creativity.
The hands-on stuff.
You gotta follow what you got. Yeah. But I thought about getting them before, but I did the math, and
they're pretty pricey.
They're not made. They're not made for single person, like because usually it's like 2 of each thing. Like it's made for pairs and stuff like that. So I guess you can eat the same thing a couple nights in a row or whatever, and you might be covered that way, but not worth it.
Have it for breakfast.
Not worth it.
Make the dinner and then have it for breakfast.
There you go. Why not? Some stuff doesn't sit overnight properly, though. It's got to be the right stuff. But you're right about the portioning stuff. Like, I made tuna casserole last week, and I was left with, like, 1/5 of a bag of noodles. I'm like, the am I going to do with this?
Are they the type of noodles, like dry noodles, or what?
Yeah, before I cooked them.
Uh-huh. You could just eat them raw. It's a snack.
My God. Did you watch that movie?
I watched the movie. Did you?
I did. I watched it last night.
Oh, I watched it this morning. Perfect.
Nice.
I didn't expect you to watch it, but yeah, we could talk about it.
I wasn't sure I was going to, and then I'll tell you the only reason I did watch it is because I was eating dinner last night, and there wasn't a new episode of MasterChef. Usually they put new episodes of MasterChef on Wednesdays. So, if I watch it after Wednesday, then usually I'm covered. But there wasn't a new episode. So I was like, fuck, what am I going to watch? Well, I eat. And lately I've been watching more One Piece, in between the MasterChef episodes. But last night I was like, oh, I should probably watch that movie. So I sat down and watched the movie. Anyways, it reminded me because they were going through all the stuff. She was going through all the stuff that she brought for the bachelorette party. And she goes, what'd she say? She said, penis pasta.
Yeah.
And I might have eaten some of it. So that reminded me of that.
What was the brand? Weenie Linguini. I think it was.
Is that what it actually was?
I think the brand was Weenie Linguini.
Nice. Nice.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about Rough Night, this movie that we said we would watch last time. So spoilers for anybody who's interested. But just to let you know, it's got a lot of... If
you're interested in this movie, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. It was pretty good.
I will say, it was a horrible movie, but I will say it was really funny.
Well, what do you mean it's a horrible movie then? If you were entertained, that's all that matters.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. I was entertained. I felt like I shouldn't have been.
It's fine.
That was how I felt about the movie. Anyway, so what did you think of it?
Well, first of all, I really enjoyed the contrast between, because, this is all about a bachelorette party for Scarlett Johansson. And likewise, while she's having her bachelorette party, her husband, soon to be husband, is having his bachelor party. And you would think, the stereotype, the women are going to have this, timid gathering, and the men are going to be going, looking at strippers and gambling and so on. But no, the men have my kind of night out, which is, not wine tasting, but, they taste wine and then they just chill, hang out, that type of thing. And I just found that funny. It was a very wholesome aspect of the movie to see this just stark contrast between the two.
That's true.
And also, probably my favorite character is the husband, is Peter. I think his name is Peter, Scarlett Johansson's husband, because I don't know, he behaves like an exaggerated version of a decent person, I imagine. But the fact that he then at the end of the movie is driving wearing a diaper because he's been told this is the quickest way to get to your soon-to-be wife, is to drive.
High on meth.
Well, meth was the next drug. He took amphetamines. Generic Russian-made amphetamines while drinking cans of Red Bull.
Yeah, he got out of the police car. All the Red Bull came out.
That's right.
I was like, dude, where are you going? You need this much Red Bull. What the
But then one of the other funny moments. In the back of the car. But one of the other funny moments was he stops for gas. And then he's so hopped up on stimulants, he tries to pay for the gas, and the card is declined because it's suspicious, blah blah blah. He gets a phone call, automated phone call about the card saying, press 1 to allow this transaction. But he's so jittery, he presses 2 by accident, which cancels the card. And what does he do? And I love this montage because they put in a good song where he has to hustle for money at the gas station by squeegeeing people's windows.
Oh, man.
It was great. It was gold. But, that's where he gets kind of roped into the meth thing. But all for the sake of getting money and getting out of there. He doesn't go crazy. He doesn't indulge. He just does it.
The whole thing
and goes.
Was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole thing had that tone. The Australian woman constantly getting hurt. I feel like they didn't do as much with it as they could have. Her constantly getting hurt.
She seemed pretty tough.
Life-threatening ways was absolutely hilarious. When she comes up on the sea-doo on the beach and flips over the thing. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was the funniest thing. I rewound it a couple times just to keep watching it. I thought that was so funny. When she got bit by the dog, I was like, this is okay.
She's going to get rabies.
Back. Well, I thought it was going to come back. I didn't think rabies, but I thought she was going to get sick and then they were going to have to deal with that. Nope, didn't do a damn thing. She got these big friggin' bite marks. They're like, oh, I can see the bite marks. She's got the big bite marks in her wrist, right through. I'm like, oh, there's no way they're not going to do anything with this. And they didn't do anything with it. It didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. Same thing. She flipped over the sea-doo, broke her neck.
Got whiplash, probably.
They just talk. They're just like, how are you still alive? She's like, I don't know. And she walks away.
She stumbles into the sand afterwards. She flops into there.
Yeah, but she's good the next scene. Like it had no bearing on any part of the movie.
She's Australian. I guess that's their way.
Previously injured. But my issue was that those were the only two, and I was like, oh, this is a good running shtick. They should roll with this, but they didn't. They didn't. Like even at the end, I thought,
she's gonna get shot.
Well, maybe not that, but like I don't know,
Pistol whipped.
well, they could have done more with it other than 2 bits. But I thought it was very funny. And just the subtle humor was really good. Even at the beginning when they're doing the pong and the
beer pong, and
they win, and Scarlett Johansson gets up on the other girl's shoulders, and she runs into the doorway with her, and she falls down. And they get her up, and the other girl just goes, "What happened?" Like she doesn't even like. It was just the subtle humor was so good.
Yeah,
it was a very funny movie. The premise was garbage, but it was a very funny movie.
The premise was Weekend at Bernie's, basically.
Well, yeah,
just another take on it.
Pretty much, yeah. I guess that's true.
Which is, nothing wrong with that.
Then when they're driving the stripper in the smart car with everybody,
yeah,
and the guy sticking out
that's
the roof
not suspicious at all.
With the penis glasses on. Then she hits the speed bump and he skids down the front of the car and across the engine.
I found that ridiculous because everything's going well, but then she's taunted about how can't this car go any faster, and then she revs it.
She gets legit angry. Like,
right as the speed bump comes on, and then the smart car just falls apart.
It was so stupid.
And then somehow they managed to roll the car back, which was I found that very impressive. I don't know how they managed to do that. They must have been quite far away at that point.
They did it with the Sea-Doo too, though. They got the Sea-Doo down on the water. They got it back up onto the thing. I was like, how are 4 girls gonna pull this off?
They're strong, independent women, I guess.
Well, I guess 5 girls, but the Aussie's broken in 2 at this point.
So there's 2 of her now. Then it's perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I will say, okay, so I'll say, because I said it last week, how the hell did they get Scarlett Johansson for this movie? But I was really surprised at the people that I saw in that movie. Like, there were a lot of, not big names, but names I wouldn't have expected to be in there. Eric Andre was one of the Bachelors.
That's true, yes.
The dad, I don't know his name. The dad from Modern Family was the swinger.
I think Demi Moore was the wife of the swinger, right?
Oh, was that Demi Moore? I don't really know Demi Moore, but there you go. So that's another big name. I'm sure there's ones in there that I didn't know. One of the small cameos that I was actually surprised to see was when they were in the club before they did the cocaine. The guy that creeped up on one of the girls was Starburns from Community.
Ah, okay.
Very distinctive person there.
I didn't expect that person to be like anybody interesting. I thought that was just an extra.
He plays a really small character in Community too. Like you wouldn't know, like he's not anybody, but
he has lines or something. Like you know him
Community?
then for some
he does.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's not an unfamiliar character in Community. He's in a lot of episodes.
So he's a recurring extra, basically.
Yeah. And then one of the robbers at the end was he's decently famous. I don't know his name, but
there's
I best know him as the Vulture from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was really surprised at the cast. I was like, how did they pull all these people?
I mean,
for this movie, like the budget had to be all actor salaries.
The synopsis must have been enticing to them,
I guess, yeah.
Bachelorette party results in a
yeah.
Somebody dying.
There you go, results in somebody dying. But the whole thing is like, I mean, Scarlett Johansson said it at the end of the movie, kind of when things were coming to a head. Like, they continuously just made the night worse for themselves. If they had just
left well enough alone
from the start, yeah.
Oh, that's a life lesson. That's a really important life lesson. If you ever commit murder, leave the crime scene alone, because otherwise you become an accessory to the murder, even if it's by accident. And what was the other thing?
Which other thing?
God, there was another thing to keep in mind. I mean, obviously, don't kill people, but there was one more lesson that I took away, but I guess I've forgotten it.
Yeah, see, you forgot it. Don't trust cops, because maybe they're not cops. That's how they got in.
both times.
Yeah, the first time they thought it was a stripper. He went with it too. They didn't even question it. They didn't even question it when he came into the house.
That guy was pro. Like, let's be honest.
No, he didn't. He like shuffled around. I was like, how are they not? I guess because they were high on crack. But
no, but the fact that like he said, I got to take a piss, and then he started doing stuff. Like he fell into the character so easily that he could have fooled them. Yeah.
But I think that was the goal though, because he wasn't looking to rob them. He was looking for a place to lie low, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't have to like, not put up with it. If he wanted to lie low, he would have to. In that situation, he has to do it, right?
Yeah, I guess. But he could have said like, hey, this thing happened. Can I use your phone or whatever?
Well, he didn't want to use their phone though. He literally wanted to lie low. He was probably just waiting it out.
Then he could have been truthful and said, you know what? I want to lie low here. I committed a crime. I need a place to chill.
I will say I didn't like them doing the 2 post-credit scenes. I was like, why? Why does this movie have 2 post-credit scenes?
It was a nice song,
Marvel.
though. Come on. One of the post-credits was the nice song
I didn't even
the Australian
understand
woman wrote.
I didn't understand the song even a little bit.
She was
Not
just
even a little
singing
bit.
about the murder.
Yeah,
and how it brought them
she was
close
singing
together.
About that, but it wasn't really anything.
No, I liked it. I liked how uncomfortable everybody else looked. But that, her friends, Scarlett Johansson and everybody, they were, like, yeah, it's good. Good memories.
And then the one after that was her finding the how did the diamonds end up in a pasta?
Yeah, that one was quite unnecessary. But that's the scene I remembered when you talked about the noodles. I was like, I wonder, what kind of shape are they?
Yeah, I just remember from earlier. And then when they went to, what did they do? When they moved they moved the body or whatever? She grabbed the box and took it with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay.
Stress eating penis noodles.
She was quite funny. She played the typical funny fat girl role.
Overbearing as well, yeah.
Kind of reminded me of Melissa McCarthy. She does roles like that too. Overall, it was not a bad movie. I don't think I'd want to watch it again, but it was good for what it was. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh man, this is going to be the longest hour and a half of my life. Actually, it was longer than that, but
I was expecting it to be more of like a romantic comedy, but like ones that I don't like very much. And so I was very pleasantly surprised that it was completely off the rails compared to that. It wasn't like, will they, won't they? Because in the end, because you think like, oh man, what's going to happen? This miscommunication is going to lead them to not having the wedding.
It was the worst miscommunication I ever saw.
But then the end was beautiful. Like everything just worked out, and it was great.
Yeah, him coming through the wall was wild. That was wild.
That was so unexpected.
I didn't even expect it. I was like, he's going to save the day, but you don't know how.
Exactly, yeah. I was thinking like, oh, he's going to open the door, but no, he just went through the door.
He just went right through the door, ran the guy over. I thought that was so funny.
And then, of course, the proper stripper lifting his legs so that I think Alice
yeah.
Alice had the gun. She was able to shoot from underneath his ass.
That was also wild.
I was not expecting them to be able to do anything with that gun, having been tied together like that. So good for them. Good for them for having
for her to be able to aim the gun under the guy's leg and shoot the criminal in the leg was.
See,
twice.
You don't get this
wild.
in romantic comedies. This is why this movie stands on its own.
It wasn't a romantic comedy. I mean, it's not classified as that. It's classified as a dark comedy. So.
Well, yeah, but again, it has like roots in romantic comedy. It's just that it veers away from that.
But it was a decent movie. It was a decent movie.
I recommend it anyway. I don't know about you, but I do recommend it.
I recommend it. I cautiously recommend it. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but it's funny. So
watch it if you want to laugh.
Yeah, if you want a just good laugh, because there's definitely laughs right from the get-go. But I mean, don't expect like a good plot or anything like that.
It's just good, clean, wholesome family fun.
Well,
with a lot of references to penises.
Yeah, no.
So if you're comfortable with references to penises and your kids are comfortable with references to penises, then enjoy this movie.
On that note, you want to see what's next?
So I did the randomizer for myself.
Okay.
I did. And I've heard of this movie before. You might have seen it. I don't know. It's I Love You, Man. It's with Paul Rudd and the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, Jason Segel. Okay. 2009 American bromantic comedy film.
Oh, see, look at this. Why are we getting these types of films? We went from VHS to this.
Okay, that's what's next. Oh, it's got Andy Samberg in it.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a comedy. It's going to be funny.
It's another one with good Rashida Jones. So it's going to be an SNL level comedy. J.K. Simmons.
Can't go wrong with J.K. Simmons.
It's another movie that just got Jane Curtin.
I know, lots of big names again, right?
John Favreau. Oh my God. Lou Ferrigno. Aziz Ansari. Dude, it's got like so many people in this movie also. What is with these movies having big names?
I swear we'll get a dud someday. We'll get some crappy B-rated movie at some point.
Oh, I didn't see what the reception was. Oh, it's got good approval rating. Wait, this actually might be a good movie.
I mean, on the random page, I see the ratings, and it's like 88 out of 100 average on this website.
Yeah, it's got an 83 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got 70 on Metacritic. That's pretty good. That's much higher than Rough Night was.
And we enjoyed Rough Night, so this is going to be an excellent film.
It just, I don't know, it just surprises me when these, because I'd never even heard of this movie.
You never heard of I Love You, Man? I feel like I heard it plenty of times in passing. Just it was definitely way more popular than Rough Night. It must have been, because I've never heard of Rough Night before. But this one I definitely heard of.
All right, well.
Got our next pick?
A friendless man looking for a best man for his upcoming wedding. However, his best friend is straining his relationship with his new best friend is straining his relationship with his bride.
Come on, don't read the synopsis. We did that last time. We're supposed to go in blind.
No, I want preconceived notions.
No, come on.
No, I already read the synopsis.
Half the fun, well, you read it to yourself then. Half the fun for me is to go in blind. Like with VHS, I had no idea what to expect.
I mean, I guess. I kind of like to know what I'm...
No. Remember, that's what you told me. You have to go in blind, at least in my case. Yeah, I had to go in blind to watch the film. No preconceived notions, nothing.
I just meant like pick one and, well, saying like, oh, I know this one, or, you know, I heard this is good, or I heard this is bad.
Oh, I see.
I didn't literally mean use a randomizer. I just meant...
I like my way more. I like my way of randomizing more than remembering about some films or seeing some films. Come on, it's a good way to do it.
It's a way to do it.
And everybody else can join in on the fun.
Anyways, word of the fortnight. What do you have for us today?
The word this time around is purloiner. Purloiner. So that's a noun. The verb where it comes from is purloin, and that means to appropriate wrongfully and often by a breach of trust. Now this word comes from Dark Souls 3, so I'm going to use the example that was said there. And here's what it is. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. And that makes sense because you are going around taking cinders that aren't yours in that game. And also a fun fact, which I got from looking up purloin, is apparently there's a Pokemon named Purloin, but it's spelled purr.
I was going to say.
Which is a cat.
A Pokemon named Purloin.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a good word. I had to look it up. So anytime I have to look up a word while playing a video game, it's tempting to put that as the word of the fortnight.
True.
Have you heard of this word before?
Well, I mean, I played Dark Souls 3, so I must have.
Yeah, you must have heard it, yeah.
And I know the Pokemon.
I'm fascinated by the fact that they actually used that word in the name of the Pokemon. Like, clearly they chose that because they knew the word and then they put a pun on it. So it is interesting. They're teaching children how to spell some of these complicated words incorrectly.
If you don't know that it's a word, you don't know that it's a word. So.
That's true.
You know, they're not teaching people a word.
And then the child sees purloin in like proper literature or hears the professor saying the word purloin and they're like, that's a Pokemon.
That's right. Why not?
It's good stuff.
I mean, you went 35 years out hearing the word. I don't think we have to worry about that with children. I think we're good. Well, there you go. Purloiner is the word. Thank you, Dark Souls 3. See, you can learn things from Miyazaki.
Oh, yeah. You can learn a lot.
Yep. Yeah, you can learn stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I want to say a lot, but...
You can replace the whole educational system with Souls games.
With just Souls games.
And what a world that would be.
Oh, that'd be a horrible world. All right. Let's talk about Pokemon sounds. Since, we talked about Pokemon, we already just talked about Pokemon. It's the perfect segue.
Yeah, we love Pokemon.
There's a lot of Pokemon on this stream, on this podcast.
And me having not played a Pokemon game in many, many, many years.
Maybe you should just play a Pokemon game. Maybe that's what you should do next.
Yeah, I could. I was thinking about that. Just pull out, red and blue again. Let's play the first
one that you didn't play. One that you didn't play.
I think I actually did not play because so it went red and blue and then gold and silver. And what was the next one?
Then ruby and sapphire.
Oh, I did play those. Okay, so because I think I don't know if I finished gold and silver. I might have stopped halfway or something.
Well, play gold and silver then.
Yeah, I was thinking of playing heart gold and soul silver, one of the two. There's no combination of them, right? There's no like a third version of that, no?
No.
All right, I'll have to pick.
Yeah, red and green, gold and silver, ruby and sapphire, diamond and pearl, black and white, X and Y, sun and moon, sword and shield, scarlet, violet.
Too many. I lost track at 3.
Black and white are the best ones, I think, other than some of the originals. But I found them to be the most involved, and
I don't want involved. I want just I press a button and everything dies.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of strategy involved in black and white. I thought black and white was the hardest one in the series.
You couldn't just use the same move every time.
No, I found myself having to, switch it up and play smart. But maybe that was just me. I don't know. Maybe I got worse at Pokemon games as I got older. Because I definitely remember doing that in Red and Green. Like, it was just Blastoise the entire time. I barely used any other Pokemon.
You're dealing with an electric? Blastoise. Doesn't matter.
Yep, it didn't matter. That's why I hated, Charmander. Because when I went up against Brock or whoever at the beginning of Red and Blue, I would only ever use my first Pokemon, which was Charmander, so he just gets stomped. I'd never be like, oh, I'm going to train up a Butterfree or something like that to help me out.
You could just cheat like Ash did.
Well, they should put that in the game.
Destroy the sprinklers and then it's over.
It's funny because I was playing one game called Ayuden Chronicles, which is a Suikoden. It's from the creator of Suikoden. And so the whole premise is just a lot of characters to recruit and all that kind of stuff. And anyway, so some of the boss battles have like a little side thing you can do. I know other games have it, but this is the one I most recently played. Have like a little side thing you can do to like weaken the boss or stun them or do a lot of damage. So you just would like go do that instead of attack the boss. And they just do that in Pokemon. So instead of attacking the Onix, there's like a side thing. Like, oh yeah, hit the sprinkler button. And then he ends up losing his resistance to electricity or fire or whatever. See? Game Freak, get on it. Game Freak doesn't even remotely have the skill to figure that out.
That would be pretty sweet, though. That would get me back into Pokemon games. If they had such... Because, there's like... You have good RPGs, right? Western RPGs, and I imagine even JRPGs have some of that, where you're able to do things in different ways. Even like Witcher 3, right? Oh, I can kill this person, or I can bribe them, or I can steal from them in secret. I can sabotage something. Those different choices. Why can't they have that in Pokemon games? Imagine, or imagine you're playing as Team Rocket. That'd be sweet, right? Like you have to do stuff not legal, like not the way that Pokemon would expect you to do that. Use a net to capture a Pokemon instead of a Pokeball, that type of stuff. And then the death scene would be you blasting off if you ever die.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Come on, that'd be awesome.
Game Freak's not skilled enough to pull something like that together.
That's too bad.
That's the whole thing with Game Freak. They're not good developers. They've just rode on a very successful IP for 30 years. But everything they've made outside of Pokemon has been kind of meh, except for some horse racing game or some shit like that. That seems to be Game Freak's other claim to fame.
Horse racing?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like some horse racing game.
Like horse racing, gambling horse racing, or actually like being a jockey?
Oh, it's called Pocket Card Jockey.
Ah, okay. Pocket Card Jockey?
Yeah, and apparently a lot of people like this game. I don't know why.
Pokàjo. That's what it is. They should have called it Pokàjo.
Pokàjo, yeah. But apparently a lot of people like this game. I don't know if it's like a good game. Like,
is it new?
No, this came out a long time ago, 2013.
What system was it on?
It was on 3DS.
Whoa, okay. Well, that's tempting then.
There you go. You can play that.
I gotta look into that. Maybe that's gonna be my new thing.
There you go. Pocket Card Jockey. That's right.
Smitten by Game Freak's ultimate game.
I don't know. A lot of people say it's a good. A lot of people like this game. I don't know anything about it, and it's the only game I've ever heard anybody talk good about for Game Freak outside of Pokemon.
I assume it was released worldwide. It wasn't just a Japan release.
Yep, it was Japan in 2013. It was worldwide in 16.
Oh, that took a while. The world wasn't ready yet in 2013
No, they were not. That's right.
for Pokàjo.
All right, let's do some Pokemon. Do 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 do. Here we go, guys. We're judging Pokemon legendary Pokemon sounds plus Scyther. We're on battle number 9, 36 versus 93. And of course, we don't say the names. If you want to see the names, you can go to tot3.welcome.fm and you can see the links on how to see the names. All right, 36. Here we go. All right, short, crystalline.
It's like a baby laughing.
What kind of babies have you been around?
Well, like crystalline babies. Yeah, you can hear it. Come on, it's like something like that. But with a crystal effect on top. I can't pull that off. I don't have the vocal skills.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Okay, well, that was 36. Let's see what 93 is. Oof. Strong, long. What do you think of that one?
Very, very bold, you know?
It is. These are like polar opposites.
It's
You
like
get this
being,
little-
yeah.
You get this like mousy crystal one, and then you get this stronger, like deeper, but it still has like the crystal effect at the end. I guess that's just
a
we're saying
thing.
that about a lot of these. This is just kind of the synthetic nature of these sounds, I guess.
It's probably the aesthetic of the hardware they use.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's just a common thing with like synthesizer sounds, right? Like they all sound very.
But it also, like I said, it also does depend on what they recorded on, because some of them sound different. They have a different tone to them, and some of them have that specificity. Like, oh, this thing has that. Like, I think people who are really in the know, they can tell whether some synth was made on let's say, a Game Boy versus some professional equipment, that type of stuff.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, on that note, who do you have on this one?
I'm going to go with the first one because, I don't know, the second one, it just seems a bit hollow to me.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you. I think I do like the first one more. The second one's too, I don't know, in your face. And when I picture 36, I picture a very majestic, like a very mysterious, like mystical Pokemon.
Or a baby.
I don't picture. No, well, well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 36 also.
All right, a little
there we
baby
go.
stuck in a diamond.
A little baby stuck in a diamond. All right, why not? All right, number 10 is against 52 versus 77. Here we go, 52. Oh, that one's very down to earth. I feel like that's an early Pokemon.
It's just a roar, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of extra effects on it. All right, yeah, there's not much to say about that. Like, it's very basic roar. It's probably the first one that I feel like I'm surprised that belongs to a mystical Pokemon, to a legendary Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it is very, yeah, it sounds like a basic Pokemon that you would just hear at the beginning of the game.
That's right, yeah.
Like a Rhydon or something, that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nido something or other. Sure you didn't get a Nidorino mixed up in here?
I'm pretty sure. Could be Scyther, I guess, right? But I doubt it.
I don't think that one's Scyther.
I think Scyther is more of a baby laughing in diamond.
All right, 77.
That's like somebody who has their phone on in their pocket and they're like, they forgot to turn it off. So you hear all the stuff happening, but it's all muffled.
Yeah, it's very muffled, isn't it? Yeah. It's like he starts coughing. It's like one of those people who start coughing, right? And then they cover their mouth on the second or third cough.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. That's the first one. All right, who do you got?
I don't know. I mean, I like the comedic aspect of the person muffling their cough in the second one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I might go with that just because the first one is very
I'll go
basic.
with.
Yeah, the first one is very basic.
It is very basic, yeah.
It's clear, it's roar, but yeah.
Well, it's nice in a lot of contexts, but like there's a lot of like I would have put 52 over either of the ones in the last round. Quite frankly. but
You would have put
I really like
you
this.
prefer 52 over the previous two?
Yeah, the basic one. Yeah, I would have put that one over the previous two.
Oh wow. Okay. So even the baby inside a diamond.
Yeah, even the baby inside the diamond. Because I'm not a big fan of the
Ah,
synthesized
okay.
sounds.
You don't like the crystalline.
And so a lot of them are like that. Like it just doesn't sound. I've said this before. It doesn't. Pokemon shouldn't sound like that. That's a sound that makes a lot more sense in Digimon.
Yeah. But usually these special Pokemon, they have that aspect to them, right? I know they're still meaty, they're not supposed to be digital, but I always felt like the special ones are more godlike, so they have to have some sort of extra bit to their sound effect.
Yeah, but when I think of again, if I think of that, I don't think of like a synthesized or digitalized.
I just think
kind
they
of
weren't
sound.
able to, it sounds digital because that's the
Oh
best they
no,
could
it's
do.
a limit of Game Freak. Yeah, it's a limit of Game Freak. But I think there's a way you can do it. And I just think Game Freak isn't. Again, it just comes back to I don't think Game Freak's a very good developer. So I don't think there's very many things they're good at, and that includes sound direction. I think they could do it better. Another company would do it better. Another company would have done it better than Game Freak did in a lot of these scenarios, and that's why I like these more basic ones. Because, like that I can believe that like that doesn't have a lot of weight to it. So I mean, if that was like, so if you were to tell me that was like Suicune, or because that's I'm like I said, I'm thinking that this is an early gen Pokemon. If you tell me that's Suicune or Raikou or Entei, I'd be a little disappointed because you would feel like those would be like meteor. So it's still very basic, but it doesn't sound as digital as the last ones, and I appreciate that. But then this one is just come on. He's just going to town. He's
just coughing up a storm.
That's right. So for me, it's 77.
All right, sounds good.
Number 11, 45 versus 84. Here we go, 45.
There, you want one that's not digital. That's as close as you'll get.
This was just like go into the bathroom and make some noises.
I mean, okay, no, but it's supposed to be like a tiger roar, I think. But
Yeah,
yes,
this
it
one I
kind of
could
does
hear,
sound
yeah.
like somebody going to the bathroom. Which is, it's a fine line between a tiger roar and going to the
I
bathroom.
guess it's true.
It really is.
I think it's the tail. I think that's the whole thing. Is it's not like one continuous thing. It like starts to. It starts to like bubble.
Yeah,
at the
it
end.
bubbles at the end. Why did they add that? Like, that's so stupid.
Oh, I think that's hilarious. All right. Wow. All right, 84. You're gonna have a hard time topping that one. 84. It's kind of cool.
It's like a sound effect where it's a dramatic scene happening in a movie.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, when something shocking like happens and you get that just that one burst of sound.
Oh no, they murdered this prostitute. It's like that the Law and Order sound effect, but its own thing, right? If there was another show like Law and Order, and instead of the the dun dun or whatever the sound effect is for Law and Order, this would be the sound effect.
Oh yeah, this one's in Detective Pikachu. Oh no, somebody murdered that Meowth. Interesting. That one kind of sounds like it might be one of the Reggie Golems.
Yeah, like very, very solid, very stable. No, I prefer the first one. I prefer the person going to the bathroom.
Yep. Bathroom sounds for me. Bathroom sounds for me. All right, there we go. 45 takes an 11. All right, number 12, 60 versus 69. Here we go. 60. I could believe that's like Mew or somebody. It might sound a little more advanced. It might be a little too advanced for Mew, but a Mew-esque one?
Maybe it's what's that green one? Cerebi?
Celebi? Cerebi or Celebi?
Well, Cerebi, if you look at, because the website is Cerebi, right? Because I guess that's the Japanese way of pronouncing it.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah,
All
Celebi,
right.
you're right.
Yeah, I could see.
It's like a little fairy flying off.
Yeah, one of the more fairy-esque Pokemon. So maybe not Mew or Celebi. Could even be like Jirachi, Fion, Manaphy. No, who are the ones that are? Oh yeah, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf. I could see it being one of those guys. All right, 69. That That one sounds familiar to me.
I don't know. I kind of like the first one because it has more of more variety. The second one is good, but it just has that roar, and that's it. Like it increases and then drops. Whereas the other one, I can see like it has that boing at the end.
Yeah, it does. It's got like that bubble-esque
I like that.
feature at the end also. That one definitely sounds like a
The Pokemon you use, perhaps.
kind of a horsey Pokemon. I don't use a lot of legendary Pokemon though.
But you said it kind of sounds familiar.
Well, it does sound familiar, so I'm just trying to think like, why would that sound familiar to me?
Maybe it's one of the more recent games. From one of the more recent games.
I think it's one of the ones that I would just be more familiar with.
Well, have you ever, like you said, you don't use many legendaries, but you must have then, if you remember this one fondly or in some way.
Well, it sounds more familiar.
You probably then used it more than any other legendary.
But it could, well, maybe, yeah. But it could come from anywhere, It could have been something I heard in RCS, which uses older Pokemon. It could have been something I heard in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which uses older Pokemon.
Oh, did they use the same sound effects in Mystery Dungeon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they're definitely saving money. They just keep reusing the same sound effects over and over again.
Interesting. All right. So who are you voting for? You the first one?
Yeah.
I like the second one.
All right, fine. We got a tie. What's the plan then?
I guess we're just gonna number it. We're gonna number our favorites. Okay, but now we got to make a rule here so we don't end up with like what happened last time. Can't end in a 0 or a 5.
Okay.
Those are the common numbers, right? So
Sure. Sounds good.
can't be 40, 60 like it was last time. It's got to be like 41, 59. I'm just going to play them again really quick. And they must total 100. All right, I'm ready.
All right. I choose 6436.
I chose 3862.
Ooh, okay.
So yours wins.
So 60 wins, right?
60 wins. Yeah, your guy goes through. Well, there you go. There's our winners for today. Ciao.